DreAllDay.com.
Now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you're expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That's the go-getter energy that moves anyone out there, including yourself. You're going to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. What we do is put all this together. This is what we're going to do for you. Okay, I'm not talking about you, meaning me and you. This is what we're going to do for you. We're going to put all these things together that I just told you. Discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative. We're going to put this into one bundle, one package, one mindset. This is one philosophy, one approach that you can utilize. It is called Work on Your Game. We put it in a book too, but this is the audio version of it that you're getting right now. And you get this every single day. All right, and what you get here is longer than the actual book. So you should definitely subscribe and download and bookmark, whatever you got to do to make sure you catch this every single day. And yes, this is a daily show. There is no other show in the world, no other creator in the world, not anybody who can do this. Nobody. There is somebody who can do it. Name them. Exactly. Welcome to the show. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. And today's topic is how to find your voice. And when I say find your voice, I'm not talking about the tone at which you speak or having a deep voice or a soft voice or hitting notes when you sing. That's not the kind of voice I'm talking about. I'm talking about the voice of how you are going to present yourself. What's your persona going to be? What's your energy going to be? What's your being going to be? What are people going to come to know you for? And again, knowing you for is not necessarily this is the topic that I talk about. Like I talk about basketball, I talk about manufacturing, I talk about engineering, I talk about starting a business, I talk about how to make $1 million. I'm not talking about the subject that you talk about when I say finding your voice or how you're presenting yourself. I'm talking about what's the angle that people want to get from you, the approach that people are going to get from you they can't get anywhere else. Because just in case any of you didn't know, and I think if you're listening to this show, then this is probably not the first show you've ever listened to. All right, even if you don't listen to many other podcast shows, you've been on YouTube, you've been on Instagram, you have read articles, you've been on blogs, you've been on Facebook, you've been on Twitter. You see all the people out there putting out stuff. I think we can all agree that, listen, this is not a secret. I'm not the only person in the world to ever make basketball drills and put them on YouTube. I was the first one, but I'm not the only one to this day. I'm not the only person in the world to talk about discipline or confidence or mental toughness or personal initiative. I might be the only one putting them all together. I might not. There are other people who talk about these subjects. There are other people who talk about building a brand and business and public speaking and what are the topics that I've talked about. We just look at the topics that I talked about just over the last 7 days. I'm not the only person to talk about taking care of yourself and style versus substance. Definitely not the only one talking about racial inequality or what black people can do with the social justice movement or mental health or the whole Black Lives Matter concept versus All Lives Matter concept. Maybe the first one to talk about both of them at the same time, hold both accountable, about what to sell and how to sell it at higher prices or lower prices, how to not be underrated, talking about victimhood. I'm not the only person to ever talk about these topics. Now, I might be the only one to talk about all of them on back-to-back days. Now, but I am definitely, let me tell you what I am the only one to do, and talk about them the way that I talk about them. That's what I mean when I say finding your voice. What I'm talking about here today is how you can do that. Okay, you don't have to be the only one talking about your subject. And if you happen to be the only one talking about your subject, like there was a time I was the only one putting basketball workouts on the internet, as soon as people notice that there is some success and attention to be gained from it, you won't be the only one anymore. All right, because everybody else will smell that whatever it is they think you're getting from it that they want, and they'll come around and they'll be doing it as well. So you won't be the only one for long. What's going to keep you different from everybody else when you're no longer the only one? What's going to keep you different is that you have a special approach. You have a certain approach and angle that people actually want from you, to the point. Let me tell you what makes this really interesting. You have an angle about you to the point that people want it from you, even if you're not talking about the same subject that they initially found you on. This is the key thing right here, what I just said. Because see, most of you probably know, if you didn't know, I came in the game on the internet. First thing I was actually doing was blogging, but blogging, that didn't catch fire. It was the basketball videos I was putting on YouTube every day, and it was just me playing basketball. I wasn't talking about any of this mental stuff for the first 5 years I was on the internet. It was just me playing basketball. But when I started talking about basketball stuff, like how to deal with the coach or how to make the team or why you're not getting any playing time, that approach, I still use that same approach nowadays when I do this show. We're talking over a decade later. So even though some of you never saw me when I was doing the basketball stuff, there are people who still listen to me now who was following me just for basketball stuff. Now you're like, all right, this guy doesn't talk about basketball at all, but I still follow him. Why? Because the approach. The way that I approach it has not changed, even though the subject has changed. So that's what we're talking about here today. How to find your voice in such a way that people will still mess with you, even if the initial subject has changed to something completely different, as long as they're still interested in whatever the next subject happens to be. Now, if they're not interested, then that's a different story. But this is a special topic for those of you all out there specifically. Let me tell you specifically who I had in mind when I made this particular episode. Now, sometimes I have an episode where I'm just sharing something I think generally people who listen to Work on Your Game need to hear. But there are sometimes I have an episode where I made this for a specific type of person, and I will tell you when it is for a specific individual. Today, it is the case. This is for the person who wants to build a personal brand tied to their business in some way, meaning a personal brand, meaning it's going to make you some money somehow when I say business. And you want to be the attractive character, so to speak, that people come for. When I say that phrase, attractive character, you can pretty much understand what that means without me even explaining it, without me giving a definition. You're the person. There's something about you personally that people are coming in to get. It's not just the material or the system or the process or I don't even know what else it could be. The category, it's you, the person that is attracting people. So we took you away, but the material was the same, all the people will go away. You are the attractive character. Now, there are challenges with that, but there are also benefits. Today, we're talking about the beneficial side by handling the challenges. So with many people out there these days aiming to become influencers and creators, some of them good at it, some of them not, you will need to learn how to draw and engage an audience. And to do that, understand you don't have to be the most popular person. To do that, what you need is more than just information, however. You need to be distinctive, as I just talked about a few minutes ago. And today we're going to talk about what makes you distinctive, what will make you stand out with your approach from anyone else, even if you're not the only one talking about that subject. Point number one, topic once again, is how to find your voice. The first thing you got to do, speak on what you know, plus care about. Both. Don't just pick things that you know about, but you don't really care, because there's no energy. And don't pick things that you care about, but you don't know what you're talking about, because then there's no information, there's no value add. So you need a combination of both. Okay, and so this should, for everybody who's listening to me right now, this should eliminate 90% of the possibilities of things that you would talk about. And I'm not saying that to put you down. Listen, that applies to me as well. There's some things that I care about. I like bread pudding, if it's made the right way. I like oatmeal raisin cookies. I care about oatmeal raisin cookies, but I don't have enough knowledge on the subject to make a podcast about it. All right, so I care about it, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna keep doing it. I know about how to run the burger making line at McDonald's, like I talked about in yesterday's episode, but I don't care about it. So that means I'm probably not going to do it. I know about going to college and going there for 4 years and going to all the classes and graduating, but I don't really care about it enough that I would dedicate any of my discretionary time to talking about it like I'm doing with this show right here. So what you know about plus care about. Now, this is not, you may have more than one thing that you know about and care about. I know and care about basketball. I know and care about podcasting. I know and care about writing books. I know and care about technology. I know and care about many things. Maybe not technology that much, but I know something, right? So this is not going to be like this one thing, light bulb goes off. It's just, here's the perfect topic for you just because you chose what you know and care about. But what we do have when you do this is the process of elimination. You'll get rid of 90% of the things that you only know about but don't care, or that you only care about but you don't know enough to actually teach anything. You don't know enough that you could actually put some information together and sell it to another person. Now, this is a very simple concept, but many people fail at it. So when I say that I know something, the translation is that I have information/insight that other people don't have. I have experiences that other people have not experienced. I've been through things people have not been through in that area. There are reasons that I can enumerate why people should listen to me when it comes to this topic. So on the topic of having a daily audio show, on the topic of putting out content every single day for years, on the topic of playing basketball, walking on a college basketball team, playing professional basketball, playing overseas basketball, putting together a speech, getting myself chosen to get a speaking gig. I know about these things. I have information that other people don't have. I have experiences. I've done things that people have not done. That's my credibility. And people should listen to me because of those two things that I just said. I have knowledge and I have experience. These are important questions that you must answer in sharing your material. If you're going to sell something to somebody, there are two things they want to know. What do you know that I don't know? And what experience do you have that proves that you actually know it? All right? Don't you want to know that anytime you buy anything from somebody? At least if they're selling their intellectual property. What information you got that I'm buying, and how do I know you've actually done it? Can you prove it? Now, the caring side of it, because that's just the knowing side. Here's the caring side. If you're not interested in the topic, nobody else will be interested in hearing you talk about it. That's pretty. I think that's a pretty cut and dry thing. Like I said, I'm not interested in running the burger line at McDonald's. I could talk about it in a way that you'll listen because it's probably going to be something funny, knowing my background, knowing that I have these I think are irreverent stories that just tie to my points, at least loosely, if not strongly. You'll listen to it, but if I made a whole show, I said, all right, every day I'm just going to talk about how to master the McDonald's system, you probably wouldn't listen to that not because there aren't people out there who want to learn it, or there are people out there who buy McDonald's franchises every day. They want to learn how to master the McDonald's system. They don't want to hear it from me for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have no information. I have no experience. I got some experience, but not anything really relevant that's worth money. And I don't really care. So there'll be no passion in me talking about it. I don't care. So when you hear me talking about it, you won't care. Any of you who's learned anything about sales, you know that sales is a transfer of emotion. It is not about my product is worth X, so I get you to give me X. That's the practical side of it. But all sales is a transfer of emotion. To get somebody to buy something from you, you have to share how you feel about it in a way that you use your voice in such a way that they start feeling it. And they're like, okay, I feel that too. All right, how much? And they'll give you whatever you want within reason. All that being said, the caring side, you got to be interested so other people can be interested. If you are really interested in the subject, even if the other person is only tangentially interested, they are kind of interested, but not really. If you're interested enough, your interest can overpower their lack of interest and you can get them to pay attention to you. Has any of you ever had somebody do this to you? They start talking about a subject that you know a little bit about it, you've heard of it, but you don't really know much. You're not that emotionally engaged in it, but they're so emotionally engaged that you'll listen to them talk about it even though it's not really your thing. That's it. That's a sale. That person sold you on paying attention to them on a subject that you weren't even looking to listen to. Engaging an audience is a sale. All right, someone getting you to watch their YouTube video or read their tweets or read through the caption on their Instagram post, that's a sale. There's something about it in each sentence that gets you to read the next sentence. There's something about each word each minute that I'm giving you here to get you to listen to the next minute. But if I start to lose you because I don't sound like I care about the subject or there's a topic that you don't really care about that much, you might skip that episode and go to the next one. Sales is just a transfer of emotion, ladies and gentlemen. When you have no emotion on the subject, you can't get other people interested in it, even if you have all the information in the world. So make sure you choose wisely on a subject that you both care about and know about. Point number 2. Topic here today is how to find your voice. Second thing you must do is say something that we have not yet heard. This is just as important as the first point. I was about to say it's more important, but it's not. It's just as important as the first point. Say something that we haven't heard before. Here's the question that I want you to answer when you think of whatever subject you want to talk about. This is for, again, people who want to build a personal brand and sell your intellectual property. It means the things that are in your head, you want to package them up and get other people to pay you for them, whether they're paying attention or paying money. Do you have any unique, interesting ideas? This is a question. It's not a statement. That's a question. Do you have any unique, interesting ideas? If you have to think too hard to answer this question, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to save you some time and tell you that you have chosen the wrong topic. Pick a topic in which you have unique, interesting ideas. Here's another question. Are you saying something that I can find? Are you saying something that I cannot find on Google or in some dusty ass textbook at some college or university or middle school? Are you saying anything that I couldn't read out of some formal copywriting book? I'm pausing there just so you can write this question down and think about it a little bit to see if you have an answer. Do you have a fresh perspective on a common topic that would intrigue people? That even though they've heard of the topic before and they've heard many people talk about it, you have a perspective that you haven't really heard anybody say yet. I'll give you an example, to toot my own horn. in masterclass number 1616, just a week ago. Topic was what Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter both are getting wrong. Now, you might not even agree with everything that I said in episode 1616, but that's not the point. You don't have to agree. The point is, I had a fresh perspective on it that intrigued you enough to listen to it. And if you haven't listened, you should go back and listen right now. Because a lot of people, from what I've seen, and this is the reason why I came up with the subject, a lot of people are picking a side. They're saying, all right, well, I'm on the Black Lives Matter side, or they're doing Black Lives Matter, they're preaching it. And again, nothing wrong with that. If that's what you choose, is what you choose. Is your right. And there's some people on the All Lives Matter side. They don't like the Black Lives Matter thing. And there are people who think All Lives Matter is racist. There are people who think Black Lives Matter is racist, and they're rioting, and they're trying to destroy society, and they're Marxists, and they're trying to destroy the nuclear family. People have all these different opinions, but they're picking sides with these opinions. I came out and said, listen, both sides are fucking some things up. And I'm going to tell both of y'all what's going on. That's a fresh perspective. I hadn't seen anybody else do that. Again, you don't even have to agree with anything I said in that episode, but it's a fresh perspective that you might not even consider. Oh, I don't have to pick a side here? Oh, it's interesting. Oh, this guy is not going to pick a side? This outspoken guy who has 1,600 episodes of a show and a website named after himself, he's not going to pick a side? Okay, let me see what he has to say. That's an intriguing, fresh perspective. And again, I'm not saying that to impress you, maybe a little bit, but to impress upon you, you can do the exact same thing. What perspective do you have on a common topic that everybody knows about that would be interesting to hear? The reason why this is a key question to ask yourself is because this is an easy way for you to piggyback off of material that's already out there and already, respected. All right, everybody knows about Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter, so I didn't have to get you interested in Dre Baldwin for you to be interested in that subject, because you already know that both of those things, those concepts, those ideas, those hashtags, those movements, if you will, they're already out there. So all I did was throw those names out there, and then I'm going to give my perspective. Now you're paying attention to me because you're like, all right, I know about this subject, but I didn't hear anybody approach it at this angle. You can do the same thing any way that you want. If you don't have answers to these questions, so let me give you the questions again. Do you have any unique, interesting ideas? Are you saying anything I can't find on Google? Do you have a fresh perspective on a common topic? If you do not have answers to those questions, you are talking about the wrong subject. Do not be just another talking head saying the same shit as everyone else. Why you don't want to be another talking head saying the same shit as everyone else? Because you won't help anybody who listens to you because they already heard everything you had to say. And it won't help you because nobody's going to be excited enough about you to really give you any energy. And what do you get out of it? Nothing. So be careful that you choose the right subject. Point number 3. Topic here today is how to find your voice. Third thing you got to do. Note the response to the marketplace. When I say the response to the marketplace, I mean the people out there to whom you are sharing your message. Note what they're paying attention to. What are they responding to? What are they ignoring? What is something you said that nobody seems to care about? It went in one ear and out the other. What is something that you said or did that everybody seems to be responding to? That's giving you a hint if you're paying attention. When I was making the basketball videos every day, it was cool. People were like, oh, here's some guy, never heard of him, but he's in the gym working out every day, showing people how to practice basketball. I need that. So I attracted an audience. But over time, more and more people were doing it. Some of them might be better at least at editing video than me. I don't know if they're better at playing basketball than me, but they're better at editing video. So their stuff might look a little bit better than mine. Eventually, I would have drowned in that ocean. It started out as a shot glass, just me. Eventually, it became an ocean of people making basketball videos. But luckily, in 2009, one day I was in an empty 24-hour fitness gym, and I recorded this video where I uttered this 5-word phrase. I said, get off your Xbox, turn off the computer, stop standing on the corner, and go work on your fucking game. When I said that, everybody responded to just that phrase. Just that phrase they responded to. People said, yo, I love that phrase. That phrase is excellent. I'm glad you said that. That makes perfect sense. I didn't even have to explain it. I didn't give any context to what that meant. I just said it, and everybody bought into it. Everybody hooked onto it. I noted the response in my marketplace, and look where we are now. What's the name of the show? Even better, if you're not sure what the marketplace is responding to, maybe it won't be so serendipitous like it was for me. Here's a way that you can find out what the marketplace is responding to. Let me tell you this. All right, write this down. All right, this is something that somebody has never told you before. If you want to know what your audience really wants from you, here's what you do. Ask them. Ask the marketplace, what do they want from you? What makes me interesting? Why did you buy into me? Why did you buy this product from me? Why do you follow me on social media? What is it you're going to get from me you're not going to get from anyone else? Some of you have spoken to me directly this year on a call and I asked you that exact question, what is it about me that has you interested? What is it about me that keeps you tuning in or paying attention or buying or listening, or why'd you even get on this call? What have I done for you to cause you to even get on this call and speak to me? Ask the question. People will tell you if you ask the right question. You'll find out what people want to hear from you. And if you're paying attention, if you publish enough material, you'll notice what people are responding to and what they're not. Listen, that's a hint. They're letting you know what they want from you. Now, again, you might love ceramics and yarn and kittens, but if every time you talk about electrical engineering, the audience goes wild, but they ignore you when you talk about the other things, the audience is letting you know. The marketplace is letting you know what they want. Now, listen, you can have whatever opinion you want to have about your material, but the marketplace determines whether your material is marketable or not. Marketable, i.e., people are willing to pay for it. Now, again, you may not be the most money-driven person on the planet, but everybody got to eat. Okay? Everybody understand what I'm saying here? Ask your audience. You can ask this in a Facebook poll. You can talk to people one-on-one. You can email somebody. You can ask somebody meet you in the mall and say, hey, I follow you on Facebook. Ask them, hey, what do you like about my material? What is it about me that makes you pay attention? What is it about me that got you paying attention in the first place? How'd you first hear me? It might not be what you think it is. If you ask, ye shall receive. It says that in some religious texts, right? Ask and ye shall receive. The great thing about the world we're in today, ladies and gentlemen, there's no middleman between you and your audience. All right? You don't have to jump through any hoops to talk directly to the people in your audience. Next time somebody DMs you and tells you, yo, I'm a fan of your work, I appreciate what you're doing, ask them, what is it about my work that really gets you interested? What am I doing what's the main thing that gets you interested in me? Again, note the wording of my question. The right question will get you the answer that you need. Now, the bad thing about today, I just told you the great thing is there's no middleman between you and your audience. Here's the bad thing about today. There's no middleman between you and your audience. The best thing is also the worst thing. And let me tell you why it's the worst thing. It's because some of you are nervous about actually having a direct conversation with another human being. And I understand. I'm not mad at you for it. Okay, I'm not condemning you for it, but I'm just pointing it out. You've been so conditioned to DM and text and maybe even email. Some of you won't even email. That you're not willing to get direct with people. The more direct you're willing to get with people, the better the answers, the better quality of responses you will get from them when you ask them the right kind of questions. Just in case you didn't know. Point number 4. Today's topic is how to find your voice. Now, I told you all the things you need to do to find your voice. Let me tell you something you should not do. Let me tell you something you should stop doing. Actually, you're probably already doing this. If you're brand building out there and getting your name out there, let me tell you what you should stop doing. Stop trying to appeal to everyone. Stop trying to appeal to everyone. Everyone is not going to feel you. Everyone's not going to share your opinions. And it's okay if everybody doesn't share your opinions. There are some people who are listening to this right now who do not share my opinion on certain subjects. I respect that. But you're still willing to listen. Now, there are some people out there who do not share my opinions on certain subjects, and they won't listen to me anywhere or pay attention to anything that I do because they were so offended by the fact that we don't share the same opinion that they don't want to hear anything else that I ever have to say. I respect that. I accept it. That's just what it is. I told you in episode number 1364, the concept of rejection marketing, that you draw certain people in by turning other people away. Most people are so afraid of rejection marketing because you don't want anyone not liking you or mad at you, or you don't want anyone who might be interested in you to not be interested because you said something that they don't like or whatever, that you are basically cutting yourself up. You're trimming yourself at the edges every time someone says there's something about this, or what about this, what about this, what about this. Before you know it, you trimmed yourself at every edge to where there's nothing left of you. Death by 1,000 cuts. You cut a little piece out of you every time somebody says they don't like something that you produce. Some people don't like profanity. They don't listen to the show. I'm all right with that. Some people don't like that I said, hey, Black Lives Matter is making certain mistakes, even though I'm black. They don't listen to the show anymore. I respect that. There's some people who don't like, I'll just pick a random episode. Episode number 1334, how to get hired for any job. Some people don't like something I said on that episode. I don't even know what I said on that episode. They won't listen to the show just because I said that. This is just how it is, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be willing to turn some people away to pull some other people in. Some people don't want to be told that, listen, you're where you are because 90% because of you, 10% because of circumstance. And the person came in believing it was the opposite, 90% circumstance, 10% them. they will either A, be glad that I gave them that metaphorical slap in the face, or B, be mad that I even said that. And those who are mad that I even said that, they ain't listening right now. And that's all right. We respect that. We respect their choice. Okay? This is rejection marketing, ladies and gentlemen. And again, rejection marketing, let me be clear, doesn't mean you go out and attempt to turn people off on purpose just for the purpose of doing it. Unless you want to be a shock jock. You want to be, Howard Stern, or one of those people who just turns people off like you're trying to turn people off. I don't turn on this mic and try to turn anyone off. I just speak what I know and what I believe and my point of view. I give my perspectives. I'm not trying to make you mad. If you happen to get mad, okay, fine, but I'm not trying to make you mad. I don't think anyone would say that I'm not like a content troll. I don't make content trying to troll people. Now, some people take some of my content like that, but that's never the intention. But they're too dumb to realize that, then that's their fucking problem. Now, see, I just turned somebody off what I just said. Do not try to be everyone's friend. Speak your piece, whatever it happens to be, and you'll find out who's attracted to it. Those who, as they say, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. The right audience will find you. The right audience will keep coming back to you. The right audience will amplify you, and they will tell other people like them about you, and that's how your audience will grow. If your audience is not growing by word of mouth, then you don't really have an audience. You probably haven't found the right subject or the right product or the right market. Doesn't mean you can't advertise yourself and do things to hack growth. But I'm just saying, if you don't have any word of mouth growth to what you're doing, that means you're probably not in the right space. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Maybe you're just in the wrong space. Maybe you're putting it out the wrong way. Maybe you haven't found your voice yet. Maybe you're talking to the wrong people. But there should be some kind of organic growing of your audience when you're doing the right thing, you're in the right space with the right voice. Because those who mind the way you're approaching won't matter, and those who matter, they won't mind. As I said, for the third time today, I'm sure in 1,600 episodes of this show, I'm sure I've said something that you disagreed with. I'm sure I've said something that you have vehemently disagreed with, but you're still listening. Why? Because those who matter don't mind. The right audience will find you. They'll keep coming back to you. They will amplify you. They will tell their friends about you. If your stuff is really good, they'll tell their friends about you without you even asking them to do so. But if you ask them, it'll help. And the wrong audience will remove themselves. They will see themselves out. You won't even have to tell them where the exit is at. They'll find it. Let's recap today's class, which is this is how you find your voice. This is specifically targeted towards the personal brand builders, anyone who's trying to make money from selling your intellectual property or your personal presence, your personal, who you are as a person. You want to be that attractive character that brings people into you. Here's how you do it. Number one, speak on the things that you both know about and care about. It's a simple concept, but many people fail with this. Do you have experience? Do you have some credibility? Or do you really care? Can we feel your passion and the fact that you care about the topic? Number two, say something that people haven't heard before. Do you have a unique, interesting idea? You're saying something that's not on Google. You have a fresh perspective on a common topic that would intrigue people. If you don't have answers to those questions, you should not be talking about that topic. Point number three, note the response to the marketplace. If you can't notice the response to the marketplace, ask the marketplace. What do you want from me? What do you like about me? What is it about me that draws you to me? Why do you keep listening? Ask these questions. People will answer the question if you ask the right question. Point number four, stop trying to appeal to everyone. Listen to my episode on rejection marketing. Do not try to be everyone's friend. You don't have to appease everyone. Someone disagrees with your opinion, so what? Let them go away. The people who do agree will like you even more for the fact that they know that they're not just part of a general group that everybody can be in. They'll know that they're doing something that everybody ain't doing. People love the us versus them dynamic. They love being part of an in-group that everybody is not a part of. You want to reject people because the more people you reject, again, not because you're trying to reject them, but because you have found your voice, the more people you will attract. Work on your game. Dre, all